In this week's episode, I'm assembling 26 short videos to help homebuyers identify either house defects or resale problems. This is Mark Scheller, 30-year real estate broker and licensed building inspector. Now, this video is pushing 18 minutes, so if you're patient, you will learn some tidbits for your smart choices in the future. With the help of these magic sticks, those 26 house defects are all assembled and they're coming at you next. How you know the age of most furnaces and most air conditioners. You find the serial number. You identify the third and fourth digits. It's 17, and that is the year of manufacture. If a home seller tries to tell you that, oh, my furnace is 2 years old and it has a 2017 date on it, you now know fact from fiction. Let's do it again outside. Find the serial number, the third and fourth digits. It was made in 2016. Today, I want to unpack a scary security risk to thousands of homes in our region. From 1975 until about 1995, homes here were built with these little buck or these hopper windows. They were cheap. They're about 40 bucks each. They open with a little finger tab or a small tap from the outside. Now, home security has come a long way, but these dangerous windows remain as the weakest link to most homes being secure. When customers are locked out of their own homes, this is how I recommend that they get back inside. Today, I want to address another safety and structural issue by looking at repairs that are dangerous to their owners. In this house, the original staircase rotted out from water and termite damage. So they called in Uncle Fred, who said, I can build y'all a new staircase, even if it's wrong. So this type of framing is just flat out dangerous, and it could lead to a total collapse of the staircase. Stair stringers should not be sitting on layers of shims and cracked joist like this. Nope. Termites live in the ground and they eat wood. Then we humans build houses made out of wood on top of the termites. And the termites say, yum, yum, it's time to eat. But the termites can't eat the foundation, so what they need is a wooden bridge to get from the ground up into your house. So we buy mulch, sometimes with termites in it, and this is how they get into our houses. So please, everyone, no mulch up on top of the brick in the front of your house or the siding either. It's just asking for trouble. Let's unpack how to find structural problems when the basement is already finished. If you can get outside, look at the top collar of the foundation and the cracks will show you the truth. The exterior of this house showed a series of torsion cracks as the foundation was being pushed in. 25% of the homes that I view have significant structural problems. And when I ask the owners about it, everything is okay because the repairs are under warranty from a company that no longer exists. Nope. Because of the internet, millions of homeowners are doing their own electrical wiring. I mean, what could go wrong with that? This is the biggest safety hazard that I see in residential homes. Technically, wiring like this needs a permit, and it can become a big problem on resale too. In this particular box, we have 10 and 12 and 14 gauge with loose wires and loose nuts. Say what? But hey, the new fire station is just right down the street, so they've got that going for them. Most of us love online resources, but I'm not sure that rewiring your own houses has the best of intentions. I believe that the word leak is a 4-letter word, but it's also connected to other bad words like mold and rot. When hardwood gets wet, it expands and you will see cupping up and swelling like this. Here's an example of a leak that started behind the hall bath toilet and it expanded from there. A leak under the hardwood floors follows the direction of the wood. So here it went from the bathroom through the closet and damaged the hardwood in the foyer. So keep your eyes open for hardwood that's cupping like this, because leaks seldom fix themselves. Every 4 years, the codes change and decks get safer and more complicated and more expensive. Can you believe it's bad when deck posts start bowing like this? To secure a deck to a house, a 1/2-inch lag bolt must be used in each joist space. They are missing here. We can no longer attach decks to cantilevers like this unless they have their own header. For public safety, it's time to upgrade our decks, including joist hangers that are missing on stair landings like these. The city where I live has 3 large rivers, and we have these huge areas of floodplain right next to homes that were built before the flood lines were even known. Here we have a house where the current flood line comes right up onto the backyard. So flood insurance or no flood insurance, bad resale value or good resale value, and the flood lines change every few years. If your basement is below the water table, that's not cool. So floodplain to the right or no floodplain to the left. I mean, what could go wrong? Now, I do like swimming pools. I just don't want one in my basement. 50 years ago, most of our home's heat came from fireplaces. Chimneys go through these cycles of hot, cold, wet, frozen, so eventually the chimney caps will start to leak. Rebuilding the outside of a brick chimney like this one can be fairly simple, but rebuilding the firebox and the flue on the inside is very expensive. If you are out evaluating houses, please be aware of fireplaces, because most of them look great on the inside, but most of them are non-functional. Let's talk about Rebar Pops. I know, it's a dream come true. Every year I see 30 different structural issues, and this one is the most misunderstood. When a foundation is poured, concrete and steel rebars like this bond together to make one powerful structural sandwich. When the concrete is poured into the forms, sometimes the steel rebar is pushed to the inside webbing of the basement wall. Moisture can cause corrosion, rust, and they expand slightly, and we get a rebar pop along the inner webbing. I encourage you to be open-minded with rebar pops, as this is a very natural occurrence. Today, the topic is furnaces, and last night it was -8 degrees here, so the timing is good. Furnaces have a problem. Beep, beep, beep. It's called corrosion and rust. You see, furnaces are made out of metal, and then we put a huge water source called an air conditioner, evaporator coil, actually, on top of them. And furnaces like this one can rust out prematurely. In this region, a new furnace will cost $3,000 to $8,000, just depending how efficient you get. So please take off the front door, examine it with a flashlight, and look for excessive rust. I am confident that home sellers will intentionally hide defects from you like never before. See here where the brick perfectly aligned with the corner of the foundation. But as we move towards the middle, we can see that the foundation has shifted in and the brick is hanging over by about 2 inches. The basement was mysteriously finished 1 month ago, so the truth can only be seen from the outside. You see, they want your money, so only your own trained powers of observation can protect you. Homeowners today have this creative vision to remove walls and build additions, but then doing the work correctly can be a whole other thing. I mean, why hire a structural engineer when you can just get out your tools and you can just go for it? In this house, a kitchen expansion added thousands of pounds to the kitchen floor. But when Uncle Fred came over to do the work, I think he had more power tools than he had common sense. It looks like a wild animal got up in there, and there is now a significant risk that the kitchen floor will just cave in at some point. Now, I think that most people understand that electricity and water do not mix. But sadly, out of every 10 homes that I view, 2 have electrical defects that I think could either injure or kill someone. Here's another episode of wiring gone wrong. In a wet closet, we have an open panel, open junction boxes, and a GFI that's completely rusted out. Can you spell the word danger? And hey, I am now an internet contractor to where I can rewire my own house. I am encouraging the world to hire a licensed electrician when adding a pool. Who here is fired up to talk about sewer laterals? It's not sewage. Today we're calling it wastewater. Water from your sinks, your showers, your washer, your toilets typically leaves your house under the basement, and then it gravity feeds to the sewer main from there. But sometimes the sewer main is so shallow that the wastewater goes out the side of the foundation and not under it. I hope you're excited because today's house has not one, but 2 sewer laterals. This is not a terrible thing. It's just a reminder that if you find a house like this, to have both laterals scoped and not just one. Because we have an old house that needs new windows. So we find coupons online and let's just go for it. The windows finally arrive, but they're too small by about 1.5 inches. Let's install them anyway. They leak water. The cold air goes right through them. And Houston, we now have a problem. Caulking is the next solution, but the gaps are too big, so that doesn't work. Hey, let's try spray foam. Oh no, it keeps growing and it keeps growing, and whoops, well, that didn't work either. With your own real estate, it is great to save money, but please be careful to protect your investment from big mistakes like this. So many homes that I view back to these tall transmission lines like these. The tall wires are transmitting a whopping 345,000 volts of power. And these wires travel right through our subdivisions in hopes that they are not causing damage to either our bodies or our resale value. For more detail about radiation, I have an 8-minute video on my channel. Wires like these do affect resale value by about 10 to 20%, so usually a large price discount should be expected. Each year, I track improvements that will give you the most money return on your investment. For 3 years running, the #1 improvement for resale value is the front door. I know, shut the front door. Old front doors like this one are inefficient, they're unsafe, it's paper thin, and they're just flat out bad for resale value. If your front door looks like this one, it might be time for a new one. The market will reward you someday. Or consider adding new weather stripping around the perimeter, and you can even prevent the bottom gaps by raising the lower door thresholds. In a whopping 75% of homes that I view, there are problems with broken window seals. When a window seal fails, humidity gets between the panes of glass. It condenses and it dries. It ends up looking like someone poured milk down between those 2 panes of glass. Home sellers will tell me, Mark, those windows just need to be cleaned, but you cannot clean between 2 panes of glass like that. I highly recommend fixing your broken window seals before putting your house on the market. 1 out of every 10 houses that I see has significant structural damage. Homes sink into the ground and they need piering, or lateral pressure is pushing the foundation in and they need tiebacks. With this house, they spent over $30,000 on 8 piers to help support this house vertically, but not one thing was done outside to mitigate the cause of the defect. Negative drainage, negative drainage. The trend is to spend big money on structural repairs, get a warranty, and then the world is supposed to think, woo, okay, everything is fine now. So what we are left with is a house with reoccurring structural issues from a company that will not exist 2 years from now. Nope. Basements leak for 2 reasons. Either the water table is high or surface water is leaking inside the foundation. 40 years ago, there were no sump pumps, and now some homes have 2. In this house, there were signs of leakage on every wall, on every sill plate, and even on the bottom 2 inches of every steel column downstairs. This house had a problem. The magic question is, did they fix it? Instead of just assuming that everything is dry, I want to encourage you to go downstairs right after a rainstorm and see the system in action. Millions of homes have electrical wiring compatible with 2-prong outlets, only for a hot and a neutral wire. Then, for safety reasons, a ground wire was added, and 3-prong outlets were quickly adopted by builders. During a typical house remodel, contractors will mix and match 2- and 3-prong outlets as if they were interchangeable, and they are not. Come on, man. It's a simple observation, so I encourage you to look for the difference so it doesn't cost you money. Old homes have horrible drainage and shallow piers, so the groundwater gets under these homes and many of them start to either settle down or heave up. At this point, the floors upstairs can become uneven, so homeowners think, aha, I have an idea. And what they would do is they would scab on a new sister joist, cut the original, and try to level the floors back out. But the new joist never makes it back to the hanger or the center beam. Can you say, oops? Because nobody wants your floor to cave in. The intention here was positive, but moving forward can become a big, risky problem. For millions of homes across our region, the plumbing system is made out of cast iron. Now, people have known for centuries that water will rust metal. But the thought here is if you can make the metal pipes thick enough that water will never ever be able to rust through the pipe, right? These metal pipes leak inside of our walls, they cause mold, and they can become a health hazard. The air you breathe matters. So please manage your indoor air quality and stay healthy. Replace these plumbing stacks with white PVC and your air quality and your resale values will both improve. Carbon fiber is used to make airplanes and race cars, so carbon fiber is cool. It's this lightweight material that's extremely strong in tension, okay? Carbon fiber is this black fabric that you see and then is chemically bonded to the concrete. This wall was shifting and the I-beams were actually pulling away from the beam pockets, which is not cool. Now, most people have seen the silver epoxy injection ports before, but carbon fiber is stronger than epoxy and more expensive. It's a bit scary looking, so for resale, consider painting the carbon fiber gray to match the color of the concrete foundation. Okay, so was that helpful? Now, I'm a visual learner, so seeing it is 10 times more powerful than hearing about something. I do have 142 defects already identified, and that list just seems to keep growing and growing and growing. If you want more content from me, let me know that you're watching and that you care. Be smart, learn defects, and make great decisions. This is Mark Scheller saying bye-bye for now.